other is not yet come. So there's a new kingdom that must come, and we know that's America at this time, because during the time of John of the Isle of Patmos, America was not created yet. America was not founded yet. So there was a new kingdom that must come and continue a short space. That's America. And the beast that was and is not, even he is of the 8 and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. How does this relate to the woman? Let me show you. When you go back to Zechariah 5, listen to this clearly. Hope this is not over too many people's head here. Zechariah 5 and 8, speaking of the woman. And he said, this is the wickedness. Listen, Zechariah 5, 7, and 8. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. It's talking about the spirit that was in Revelation, the spirit that would deceive the earth, the spirit of evil that would be used to flood and destroy the woman. That same spirit is in this ephah in Zechariah. And listen to this clearly, y'all. And he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. Then I lifted upon mine eyes. I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women. And the wings were in the wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork. And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. So Zechariah is seeing a spirit of someone lifting up these so-called ships. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, whither do these bear the ephah? Who is these spirits that are bearing the ephah? And he said to me, to build it in a house in the land of Shinar. What is the land of Shinar, brothers and sisters? The land of Shinar is Babylon. It's showing that these so-called ships, and the spirit of these ships, would be made in America. And it shall be established and set there upon her own base, NASA. They would have bases in Babylon with the spirit of the woman, fueling these ships to fight against the Most High and his ships. Now you notice how it says that they were like lead, and they would fall upon the earth. This is breaking down on one level that the Most High ships do not crash. But the ships of a woman could fall to the earth. They can crash like lead. They can fall. That's the difference between the Most High technology and the woman's technology. So what we're showing here, when you read this, when you read in Zechariah the 56th chapter, it shows you these different horses or these different ships or chariots that they call horses which run on the wings of the wind, that they're set up in different bases all around the earth. And Zechariah the 6th chapter actually gives you the geographical location of where they're set up. See, the Bible it tells you the spirit of the woman who would set her base in Shinar, which we know is Babylon. So when they came to America, they had to assume a base in which they would start building so-called UFOs. They understood that they were pressed for time, knowing that Lucifer had a short time, to build a technology that could so-called match the technology that's coming from the heavens. This is this war in heaven that's coming in the future. This is Star Wars that I'm speaking of here. Because Christ is coming back with thousands of them. Thousands upon thousands of them will be over the whole earth. And brothers and sisters, this is what the government have been preparing us for, to fight against the Most High, that to prepare us for an alien invasion that may threaten our way of life. So they're making it look as if what's coming is evil. but the invasion is already here. What's already here is the evil ones, not what's coming to save us. See, that's the flip side in the deception of Lucifer. Okay? So he had to put a program in place to make the brothers and sisters in the earth believe that what was coming is against us. So how else would he get us to fight in his armies and us to fill out applications to join NASA? Do you know that if you join NASA, working for NASA, you're working to fight against the Most High himself? You're joining Satan's army to fight against the Most High and to fight against the second coming of Christ. Even though you'll lose, nonetheless, you're still on the wrong side of this battle. Now, let me get the book of Acts. The book of Acts. Christ is coming back with thousands upon thousands of these chariots. I'm in the book of Acts 1 and 7. 1 and 9. Acts 1 and 7 down through 9 says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his power, his own power. But ye shall receive power after the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Now, listen to what's going on here. While they beheld Christ, Christ's last words is telling them what they would need to do to proclaim this, and he'll give them power to proclaim this throughout the earth. And then Christ himself, Yeshua, was taken in a cloud. And while they steadfastly looked, they looked steadfastly toward the heaven as he went up. Before two men stood by them in white apparel. These were angels, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why standeth ye gazing up into heaven? The same Jesus, or Yeshua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. That's telling us that Christ will break the atmosphere from space. But what was this cloud that he was taken up into? Let's see. Let's go to Psalms 104 and 3. It says he's coming back in like manner, the same way he was taken up. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. We know that's Christ. Who covereth thyself with light and with a garment. Who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. Who maketh, listen, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters. So you can see the reflection of the chariots coming off of the waters. Who maketh the clouds his chariot. Chariot is a vehicle. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind. What walks upon the wings of the wind? So-called UFOs. And what was Christ taken up in? A cloud. More. When we were delivered out of Egypt, what did we see? What did we see, or what was guiding us coming out of Egypt? Exodus 13 and 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire. So you might see them look and they turn different colors, amber, red, green. And this is what was guiding us out of Egypt and through the wilderness. to give them light to go by day and night.
Oh, wow.
Let's go to the New Testament.
Praise the Most High. I just got revelation there.
Because who was in this chariot? Who was in this chariot that was guiding us? Who was in this chariot of the Old Testament? What was the spirit in that chariot? 1 Corinthians, New Testament, the 10th chapter. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant. Don't ignore this, brothers and sisters. How that all our fathers were under the cloud. That's talking about us coming out of Egypt. And all passed through the sea. That's the Red Sea. When you go down to the 4th verse, let me read it all the way through. And we're all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, which means we had to go through the water for salvation back then, and we must come through the water for salvation now. And did all eat the same spiritual meat, that was the manna that rained from heaven, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So who was in the chariot? The spirit of Yeshua. It was Christ who led us out of Egypt. Moses was just a physical vessel. He's coming back. He's coming back with thousands upon thousands of angels. Thousands upon thousands of them will consume the atmosphere. This is the war, brothers and sisters, that Satan is ramping up for. Okay, he could care less about the people on this earth. He will rape this earth to get the technology and everything he needs to prepare for this, because this is it for him. This is it. And all the Illuminous powers and the Illuminati and the powers of Rome will fall with him. You are all complicit. They're going down. They are going down. These armies are nothing compared to the chariots of fire. The chariots of the Most High is going to appear out of nowhere in our atmosphere. Thousands upon thousands. Let me read this in Daniel. Let me read this. Daniel 7 and 9. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down. So Daniel sees the end of these satanic governments we call society. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. And his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So here's the wheels. The 10th verse. And a fiery stream issued and came forth from him. Thousands ministered unto him. And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. And I beheld because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning fire. And as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, to show you that these beasts represent empires. There's a spirit behind all the governments of